The Texas House Republican Caucus has nominated a candidate for Speaker, but some are still trying to conspire with Democrats to block GOP reforms. This is Monday, December 9th, 2024.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State, the Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Welcome into Monday. I hope you had a nice weekend and are ready for the week ahead. New reporting out of Mexico indicates that some migrants there may go home rather than try to illegally enter the United States after Donald Trump is inaugurated. More on that story coming up. Officials in the Fort Worth Independent School District have admitted that the district has a literacy crisis. During a recent forum, the Fort Worth ISD board president and interim superintendent both acknowledged that many students aren't meeting grade level standards in reading and English language arts. A study by the Fort Worth Education Partnership found that students in both traditional and charter public schools in Fort Worth aren't meeting those grade level standards. The group reported that only 35% of students in grades 3 through 8 perform at grade level. A constitutional amendment's been proposed by Republican State Representative Terry Leo Wilson of Galveston that would empower the Texas Attorney General to prosecute election crimes. The amendment's necessary because of a controversial 2021 ruling by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals that took that power away from the Attorney General. The Leo Wilson amendment would explicitly grant the Attorney General the authority to prosecute criminal offenses prescribed by the election laws of Texas. Before a constitutional amendment can take effect, though, it must pass both chambers of the legislature with 2/3 support and be adopted by voters. Migrants encamped in Mexico City know that change is coming under President Donald Trump, but what they do between now and the inauguration is anyone's guess. Todd Bensman is a senior fellow at the Center for Immigration Studies. He said that migrants are hearing rumors that the Biden-Harris administration will open the borders on December 18th or 19th to allow them into the country. That has reportedly led some of them to begin heading north. Others, though, told Bensman that they're holding tight and even plan on returning home after Trump is inaugurated, and others say they'll try to just stay in Mexico. Meanwhile, Mexico's leadership is fearful of a trade war with the United States and has reportedly begun to take steps to comply with Trump's border plans even before he's in office. The Texas Minute will be right back.
Why get your news from people who don't share your values? Get news stories from Texas Scorecard. We provide real news for real Texans. Go to texasscorecard.com today.
On Friday, just one day ahead of the Texas House Republican Caucus meeting this weekend to secure a nominee for Speaker, the incumbent Dade Phelan announced he was dropping out. That left momentarily only the candidate backed by the House reformers in the race. That would be State Representative David Cook of Mansfield. But he wasn't in the race alone for long. Phelan loyalist Dustin Burrows, who's a Republican from Lubbock, started his run for Speaker by meeting with the Democrat caucus. But many of them were cool to his initial approach. So on Saturday, Burrows and Cook made their case to the GOP caucus. In the first 2 rounds of voting, Cook led, but not by enough to secure the nomination outright. Before the planned 3rd round of secret ballots could be cast, Burrows and 24 of his supporters left the caucus meeting. The remaining 62 members voted, and Cook was named the official Republican nominee. Shortly after that, though, Burrows announced he had the support of 38 Democrats and 38 Republicans, enough to win the vote in January, though not with the majority of Republicans. But no sooner had Burrows released his list than at least 8 Republicans and a Democrat named by Burrows announced they hadn't given him their support. Ironically, Burrows authored the GOP caucus rules back in 2017 requiring Republican members to support the caucus nominee for Speaker. The Republicans who stayed true to the process widely noted that Burrows broke the rules he wrote when it suited him. The vote for Speaker of the Texas House will take place on Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, as the first vote of the new legislative session. Now, as an aside, the State Republican Executive Committee was holding its quarterly meeting in Austin on Saturday. They passed a resolution noting it would censure any member who didn't support Cook for Speaker in January. Coupled with new party rules, any censured member of the Texas House would potentially be ineligible to be on the primary ballot in 2026. You can find the details of all the stories mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Emily Medeiros, Luca Cacciatore, Addie Hovland, and Brandon Waltons. It was produced by Nick Shepard. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.